Today is Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. Here's what's coming up on the mayor's office.
The game is so fast at the big league level. Everything's moving so fast. Mookie Betts is like, hey, it's just like having fun. It's like being back in Little League. I'm like, no, it's not.
No.
Not for everybody. No, it's not. Like, playing a position in the big leagues, one position is so hard, let alone to go from the outfield to shortstop, which is the premium position in the big leagues. So many things are happening there. So for the Dodgers to just say, we're going to put Mookie Betts there, that's incredible.
It really is.
And I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top. Keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up. I'm coming up. The good life. Good life. Oh, good life. Good life. Good life. Good life.
Boom, jumping in hot. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. We got so much good baseball stuff. When there's not baseball stuff, there's never anything to talk about. But we have so much baseball stuff. We're not going to talk about Aroldis Chapman, who is trending right now. And don't look it up, kids. And
Dude, seriously, what are we doing? Only fans page or something? Let's go.
just move past that. Aaron Rodgers could be your vice president of the United States if Kennedy has to say on it. Which
Yeah, is that real?
Dude, that's real. He said, okay, all right, well, real quick, let's stop there. Kennedy said he would consider either Aaron Rodgers or Jesse the Body Ventura to be his running mate.
Hey, Jesse the Body was governor of Minnesota, dude. He was in politics for a long time, and former Navy SEAL, dude. And
I
former.
agree.
I don't think he ever won the WWE championship, but he was also in WWE.
Well, two things. One, I always used to love when he would say, the people of Minnesota. Minnesota. And also, I thought about this morning, actually.
He's in Predator, too. Predator.
Dude, unbelievable in that. Whenever me and my friends would go out at night and we'd be walking into a party that we thought would be really good, we'd go, I'm going to have me some fun. I'll have me some fun. Remember, because Butch, his boy, went to go kill the Predator by himself. I'm going so off tangent here. Wait, what were we just saying before that? So who were you a bigger fan of? Jesse the Body Ventura or Sergeant Slaughter? Because they were around similar time, very similar. It was always, he was a Navy SEAL, but Sergeant Slaughter was Sergeant Slaughter with the hat.
I love the Body, but Sergeant Slaughter was my guy, dude. I love Sergeant Slaughter.
You know what? He was my guy too. I was little enough where I was still really into G.I. Joe. And G.I. Joe, you remember how they used to get us kids?
He was a figure. Sergeant Slaughter was a figure.
Yes. And no, you had to like cut off like the box tops. You had to buy like 10 action figures. Do you remember doing this? You would have to cut off these little things and then you put them in, kids today, you don't know what this is, in an envelope. And you would write on the envelope and you would hand it to your mailman. And like 9 months later, you would get the Sergeant Slaughter action figure. Do you remember doing that? That was like crazy.
Dude, I totally remember that, dude. Well, all right, here's another thing for you, too. Yeah. All right, we're going on G.I. Joe for a second. Remember Destro? The guy was a bald,
absolutely.
Silver head. Oh, I love so the G.I. Joe figures were awesome, bro. But I was so into the wrestling figures, dude. It wasn't even, but I mean the big ones, like the rubber ones, the rubber ones.
Yeah, when you stretched him and let go and your friend's thumb was there, he couldn't move his thumb for like 6 weeks because you could hit somebody over the head with that and murder them if you wanted to.
You actually could, bro. So
yeah.
I just got them from my mom's house, my parents' house the other day. I was like, Mom, you're not throwing these away. You actually will have a major problem in the afterlife with me if you throw these away. So anyway, I ended up getting them, bro. But listen, you talk about Sergeant Slaughter. Remember, you can't think about Sergeant Slaughter without thinking about the Iron Sheik.
Oh, that was it.
Dude, do you remember Nikolai Volkov, the other guy from Russia?
Of course I do.
Meanwhile, the guys from Montana. You know what I mean? He's not really from
yeah,
Russia.
exactly.
His name's like Bill Smith from Montana, but he was Nikolai Volkov. So anyway, to get Nikolai Volkov, the wrestling figure, you had to buy him in a tag team with the Iron Sheik.
There you go. See, that's how they would sucker parents into the double pay.
Dude,
man.
so I had 2 Iron Sheiks, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And I used my old 12-year-old hat on, and I made like a mask for him. and like colored his boots, and I made him like Mr. X. I'm like from
That's a
parts unknown,
great
weight
move.
unknown, Mr. X. But it was really the Iron Sheik.
Yes, that's a great one, dude. That was my glory days of rest. I was obsessed back then, especially because they had the Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh, bro, the Saturday morning cartoon. I could not wait to get up for that, dude.
Oh,
Super Friends and the wrestling,
yes,
heroes was incredible, dude.
dude. I just downloaded an entire season of the Super Friends online. I actually I paid for it from one of the apps, and I'm gonna go watch I'm gonna watch the Super Friends.
Dude, I'll come over. Let me know when you're gonna do it. I'll
Seriously.
come over.
Dude, go online. There's another one. When I was a kid, we also used to watch X-Men. Like before now, everybody knows what the X-Men in. I always thought I was cool because I was like, I didn't read like the Supermans and stuff. I read X-Men, and they had a cartoon show. It was 5 seasons. Downloaded that too. So basically, I'm just sitting around watching cartoons. Anyway,
Hey, really quick before we go on,
yeah.
because now you got my little Sean Casey wrong. I was 5 years old. We lived in Plainfield, New Jersey, bro. My life consisted of waking up Saturday mornings, and I just want to watch Super Friends. Obviously, there's no DVR back then. If you missed it, it's over, Johnny. You can't see it again. So I come down this one morning, watch Super Friends. My dad and my cousin Gene are watching downhill skiing. I'll never forget it. I can't believe this must have been a traumatic time in my life. Probably for this other reason, but my dad's like, I'm like, Dad, got Super Friends all right now. Solomon Grundy is going to take on the Superman.
Good pull. Yes.
I'm like, I have to watch it. My dad's like, you're not watching. We had one TV, a bootleg TV. You got no controller. You got to turn up, stand up, turn the channels. You got the freaking, you got that rabbit ears on the top. So I'm like, Dad, I got to watch Super Friends. Like, I've been waiting all week. I've been grinding through kindergarten to get here. You know what I mean? I'm like, Solomon Grundy's coming with freaking, all these other people. So my dad's like, we're watching downhill skiing. It's like the Olympics or something. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I was like, I'm running away. I do it. The most unbelievable picture I have. I go upstairs in my house. I pack a suitcase that's 3 times the size of me. Not kidding. My mom says she sees this suitcase roll down. I can't get it down the stairs. It's so big. I pack all my clothes. Thing comes flying down the stairs, bro. Like, my dad's like, what the hell is that? I'm like, I'm running away because I'm not watching Super Friends. You got to be kidding me. I'm like, this is the biggest week ever. When you're a kid like that, you're trying to find it, but it's the biggest week ever. The biggest week ever. It's the only episode I can't miss. It's Solomon Grundy's going to take over the world. I'm like, Wonder Woman's here. Aquaman's coming in this week. Yeah. So I'm like, I think I'm even in my Aquaman underoos too. Like, I'm
underoos. Oh my God.
Underoos.
Going so far down a tangent.
Dude, so I throw the thing down the stairs. My mom's like, what the hell? I'm like, I'm running away. I'm like, Dad won't let me watch Super Friends. So my mom, I don't know if this is best parenting back then. I guess what you do in 1980. She's like, okay, Leo, let's zip up your jacket. And she took a picture of me. She's like, so dude, the suitcase is this chick. It's as big as me. It's taller than me. Yes. I'm 5. She takes a picture of me. I have a picture of me. She goes, smile so I can remember what you look like. So I'm in this picture. I'm like this. Take a big smile, dude. I guess I get to the corner of I can't even carry the suitcase. I'm dragging it. I get to the corner of the stop sign in our yard.
Yeah.
And I turn back. My mom's like, I come back. My mom said she watched me the whole time, but I come back and she's like, what happened? She's like, I decided not to run away.
That's a really good story. That's a really good story. Oh my God. Oh, how do I got to try to think of a transition here. The Dodgers are going to go away to Korea to start the season. How's that?
They're like the new evil empire. They're like Solomon Grundy's. They're the Solomon Grundy's of the Major League Baseball right now.
Bizarro Superman. So there are 3 Dodger stories for all you Dodger haters that we have to talk about. And let's go. I'm going to name them all. And then you just take it in order of what you want to say first. Mookie Betts is going to be the shortstop for the Dodgers this year. Hold on. Shohei Ohtani hit a ball that was in the catcher's mitt for a home run, and his OPS is like 9,472,456 right now. And then when they open in Korea, Glasnow game 1 starter, Yamamoto game 2 starter. So take for what you want from that.
Well, might as well start with Mookie Betts, dude. I feel like this story is just flying under the radar, kind of.
Right?
Gavin Lux, obviously, who was out last year, got hurt, and he's back. He's having trouble throwing, a little bit of the yips or whatever. He's, throwing balls away at short, and you just can't have that. Now they put Lux to second. But I'll tell you what, Tinch, most guys that have the yips, and the yips is when you have trouble throwing, you can't do it.
At close distance. At close distance.
Dude, that's where
I agree.
the yips are the worst, like Chuck Knobloch, Steve Sachs. I played with Ryan Friel, God rest his soul. But at second base, he had the yips. I mean, it's just that close range, 20-foot throw. So I don't know if that's good for Lux, to tell you the truth. But anyway, what were they going to do? Turns out they got the greatest athlete in Major League Baseball, Mookie Betts, who was a Gold Glove right fielder. Played a ton last year at second, and now he's going to play short because he came up with the Red Sox as a shortstop. But Mookie Betts is actually, to hear him talk is incredible, dude. The game is so fast at the big league level. Everything's moving so fast. Mookie Betts is like, hey, it's just like having fun. It's like being back in Little League. I'm like, no, it's not.
No.
Not for everybody. No, it's not. Like, playing a position in the big leagues, one position is so hard, let alone to go from the outfield to shortstop, which is the premium position in the big leagues. So many things are happening there. So many things. The game's on the line so many times at short. You win up the middle. So for the Dodgers to just say, we're going to put Mookie Betts there, that's incredible.
It really is. It really is.
Right?
Dude, I'm like, I thought about this and I'm like, I remember being like sophomore year going into my junior year of high school
Right.
kid, and like our third baseman couldn't make a game, and then the backup third baseman couldn't play, and they're like, hey, go play third. Now I played second base and the outfield, and I could play the infield a little, but I never played an actual game. I never even stood there for BP for anybody. Dude, when you go to a position at any level in the world that you've never played before, and you just see somebody standing at the plate at an angle that you've never seen before, it is terrifying. And I'm talking about like 16 years old, and you don't want to get, the girls that are watching a game, you don't want to make an error in front of them. How about 50,000 people, and you're expected to win like 179 games this year with your roster, and we're just going to put you at the most important defensive position on the field, arguably, other than maybe catcher? Like, unreal what he's doing. He is the greatest. You got to say, if you have to pick an athlete between Ohtani and Mookie Betts, who from this statistical on paper thing do you think is a better athlete? I think it's 50-50. Why don't we do it that way? Like, what Mookie's doing is as impressive as pitching and hitting. I think.
Dude, when we always talk about Ohtani, hey, he doesn't play the field, he's just a DH. No doubt he can play the outfield.
Oh, yeah.
But shortstop, dude, that's where the outfield's where you take an infielder that can't play and you put him in the outfield, like, oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Rarely do you bring a guy from the outfield to the infield, especially shortstop. Now, I know Mookie played it when he first came up. He played in high school, but that's a long time ago, dude. And shortstop is different than second.
Way different.
It's just different. More righties in the league. You're charging more balls. It's a tougher play to your right. That play to your right is one of the, as a shortstop, it's one of the hardest plays to make. In the big leagues, guys, you got to make that play.
Right.
You can't give these big league hitters more than 27 outs. So that ball to your right that you got to make that backhand come up throwing, like, you got to be able to make that play. Right. So and obviously Betts has a cannon, but I just think it's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's incredible that Mookie Betts is just moving to short. He's going to be there. He's going to be their shortstop this year.
Yeah. What Max Muncy's probably like, I got to play a little this way, or no? Does he just? The thing is, here's the thing about Mookie. You can't put anybody at shortstop. You need an arm. And obviously, Mookie has one of the best arms in baseball. So he's one of the few guys that can do it. You really can't you can take players and put them at second base, and they have to learn the footwork, but you can't take just a guy and put him at shortstop, just generally, let alone you're calling the game, right, Sean? Like
Right.
you're pretty much calling the defense, at certain moments, who's stealing this, whatever. Just going from the outfield to the infield, you have more on your mind, in the field than you do as an outfielder. But then when you go to shortstop, when you go up the middle, you're hey, moving people around. I'm covering, you're covering. What's this pitch? Is it change up? I gotta move 3 steps to my left, 4 to the right. It's really is amazing that he's doing this. I hope he's great at it because he's such a great guy. I hope he's awesome at it.
I hope he is too, dude. I really do. I hope he dominates, man. He's good at it. He's gonna. He's one of the best players in baseball. And then you talked about, obviously we'll touch on Ohtani just for a second, but I mean, what he's doing at spring training, thinking about this guy doesn't really have to think about pitching right now. I mean, because I feel like his hitting went to another level in 2023. Hit over 300, all the home runs he hit, driving in runs. So I feel like, that it's no doubt like his hitting's gone to another level. And then when you watch him hit now, man, it's incredible. And one of the things too, yesterday they threw a ball up and in that he hit a single to right field. I mean, that's where you want to attack Ohtani middle in because he's such a big guy, big arms. You want to tie him up. So if he shows he continues to get to that pitch up in the zone, he's going to be a tough guy to pitch to. That was always his kryptonite when he first came to the league. That pitch up and in, he was like a low 200 hitter on it. As he's gone on, that pitch upper rail that a lot of big league pitchers go to now, he's really hitting it well.
Yeah, good point there. And then moving on again, Glasnow game 1, Yamamoto game 2. You think that's curious, but we were more curious at first because we had to, before the show, look up the vicinity between where Korea is as opposed to Japan. The Korean Strait Sea passes in East Asia between Korea and Japan, connecting the East China Sea, the Yellow Sea, and the Sea of Japan in the Northwest. I'm saying that for us. I'm sure 99% of the people probably knew that. But me and Sean were like, wait, how close are they?
Yeah, we know they're close. They're close.
yeah, so that's our answer for that. But you thought it was curious that Glasnow starts game 1, just generally speaking.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You listen, you got Yamamoto, who's the largest free agent contract in Major League Baseball history. You think he would start game 1. You think if he's doing that, he's game 1. But for whatever reason, they got Glasnow in game 1 against Darvish, which is going to be pretty cool. It'll be also the first time Darvish has ever faced Ohtani, I believe.
Oh,
so
wow.
That'll be huge.
Huge.
Obviously in Korea, I mean, I think there are huge figures there.
Right.
And dude, baseball in Korea is big. People love baseball in Korea, so that's gonna be. And then you got Yamamoto going against Musgrove game 2, which is going to be awesome. So I kind of like they probably did it for the fans. Because you got Darvish game 1, Yamamoto game 2.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying? Now that I think about it, that's probably a reason. Who knows if that'll be going forward as the season starts? Because they're going to come back and they'll have time to get ready for that first series. But these games are obviously going to count. Padres, Dodgers, but when they're done, they'll get it going. So that's going to be interesting. But I can't wait to see that series, man. The players now. This is great. In 2008, I talked about this a couple weeks ago. 2008, when I was with the Red Sox, we opened up against the A's in Tokyo. We were there for like a week. And man, I look back now at my life and I go, what a cool experience that was going to Japan, being able to be with those fans, seeing how in Asia, how big baseball is and how, that's a big part of their culture. It really is. So these guys that are going over now, although it's a long flight and all that stuff, they'll look back when their careers are over and go, man, that trip to Seoul, Korea was incredible. And we're so glad we did it,
Yeah. During the time, you're probably a little stressed out about it because you guys are such creatures of habit. And you're not in the habit of going to the other end of the world and playing a couple games and then flying back and then starting your season again. I mean, we've heard your story. Your story is amazing. You hurt your neck on the flight.
Oh yeah, no, it was incredible. But here, dude, Chinch, here's another thing I didn't think of that I just thought of. Dude, the 2008 Red Sox, we were the only team in the history of Major League Baseball to play in three countries in the same week. We
Oh,
played in
did you
Japan.
Toronto?
Dude, we flew to LA. We played at the Oak, and then we played at the LA Coliseum in front of the biggest crowd ever, 120,000 people,
Oh yeah.
with Pamela Anderson on our bench
Oh.
and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I was like, this is incredible. I've never seen anything like this. It was 2:30 to left. They put this high wall up because they had to fit the field in the Coliseum. So we played there, right? And we opened in Toronto. So we opened in Japan, played an exhibition game in LA, and then went to Toronto. It was the first time in my life. You ever take Ambien, those sleep pills?
Yeah.
Dude, it was the first time in my life I ever took a sleep pill. I was in Toronto looking at the ceiling. I couldn't sleep. Go from Japan to LA to West
That's
Coast.
unbelievable.
In a week, dude, I laid there. I'm like, and then I started taking some Ambien, and then I'm like, all right, can't take these either because that's not good. So I was a mess for guys were a mess for 2 weeks.
Oh, I can't imagine. I'm still recovering from daylight savings time on Sunday.
Exactly.
Like seriously, think about how much daylight savings time affects all of us. It really does.
Yeah.
At least a few days before you're like, wait, what? And then my dad's house, the clocks are all still an hour back. I don't know what the hell time it is whenever I go over his house, but I can't imagine going. I get annoyed when I work with the 33rd team guys and somebody's in LA. For half of the year, Trey Wingo lives in Hawaii. Nice life.
Oh, geez.
Maui. And I'm on the East Coast, and we have people in Central Time. Dude, it drives me crazy just doing the math in my head about what time it is anywhere. I cannot imagine getting on a plane, which is physically demanding. It's physically demanding to me, especially guys your size, like big athletes.
Yeah.
And changing your time zones, go run around for 2 days, get back on a plane, go run around somewhere else for 2 days, and then do it a third time. I don't know how you guys did it.
Dude, one other quick story from that trip. I was trying to get acquainted with some of the guys, and a couple of guys are playing some cards in the back, and there's got some big money, dude. Big money's rolling. Big Papi's got a stack of cash. So I'm like, hey, Pop, can I borrow a couple bucks? Like, yeah, no problem. So I'm in. I'm in. I'm holding. Dude, I'm down 10 grand. And I don't gamble. I don't do anything. But these hands are so big, and Big Papi stays in on every hand. So I'm like, man, that's not good. So, dude, I'm like, I'm out. I'm out for 10 grand.
Yeah.
So anyway, 2 weeks later, I'm like, I got to give Big Papi. I got to give Pop his money back. So I go get 10 grand from the bank. I'm holding 10 grand, walking. Obviously, the money's ridiculous back then. 10 grand's like $10. But not for me, it wasn't. But for Big Papi, it was. So I walk into the freaking training room, and I go to give Pop 10 grand. I go, Pop, here you go, bro. He's like, what's this for, Case? I'm like, I owe you 10 grand from 2 weeks ago, dude. I borrowed it on the flight from Japan. Guy didn't even know I owed him 10 grand. That's how much money he had.
That is unbelievable. That's amazing. I can understand that side when you're that rich. There's a guy, a former Major League Baseball player we were both friends with. I will not mention his name. I love him. He's the greatest guy ever. He couldn't make it to my wedding, but he sent me a check anyway, and that's always embarrassing. I feel bad. I didn't invite you to take your money, especially, dude, especially working with athletes like you guys,
right.
I was very uncomfortable putting my invitations come to my wedding, because I'm sure you guys get invited to a lot of weddings with people you don't want to hang out with because they want the
ducats.
They do. But this guy, one of my best friends, he doesn't send me a check. It's a couple $100, which it should have been zero because he couldn't come to the wedding. I saw him a month later, and first thing he says, he grabs me, he goes, hey, you didn't cash my check yet, dude. My bills are all messed up. And it was 3 months later, and I was like, that's a guy who knows how to manage his money.
Exactly, dude.
He wasn't missing the $250 check or whatever it was. He was just my numbers are off, and I can't stand it anymore. I'm going to kill this guy when I see him.
My checking account, dude, I'm the worst at that, dude. People send me checks, I don't cash them, dude. They're like, hey, dude, you got to cash that check. That's not okay.
It's not okay. But
yeah, I gotta be better. I gotta be better.
Yeah. What? But don't be bitter. Be better.
Don't get bitter. Get better. Aaron Boone.
Okay. One last convo here before we go. This is big. We still don't know. We're still waiting on Cole news. It's like you're waiting on if Garrett Cole's okay. You're waiting on if Blake Snell's going to sign with the Yankees or Cole's not, and blah, 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 blah. Now Dylan Cease is in the mix. A lot of guys talking about how, all right, will the Yankees maybe go get Cease? What's your thoughts on him?
Well, obviously, and also they said, I think obviously every team wants Spencer Jones. If you're going to go get it, they want Spencer Jones, their top prospect, and the Yankees are not going to give up Spencer Jones. So I guess the question is, with the luxury tax being where it's at, because the Yankees have to spend 110% or whatever it is of the money that now that they're over, that's that threshold.
Mhm.
So if you did sign a guy like Blake Snell at $40 million, you're really paying 80 for him. So obviously, are you willing to do that, or do you trade to go get a guy like Dylan Cease, who's making $8 million a year? So you still have to pay $8 more million, which would be $16 million. And maybe next year when he makes $16 million, you got to pay another 16, so it's 32. But that's better than getting stuck with $80 million for the next 6 years with
Right.
Snell. So it makes sense that the Yankees are in talks with Dylan Cease, trying to figure that out if something is wrong with Cole. And the other question is, do they know something that we don't know? The fact that they're back in talks with Dylan Cease.
Mm-hmm. Interesting question. The one thing Cease does is he walks guys a little bit, doesn't he? What do we got here?
Last year he gave up more runs than he should have. His control wasn't that great.
A lot of wild pitches. He's led the league in wild pitches twice in his career, but John Smoltz told me that's not necessarily a bad thing. You want to know why? Because if you're hitting your target exactly where you want it, and you have a catcher that's not moving, and he's going to stay where you want him to stay, that's usually sometimes wild pitches are a sign of actually an accurate pitcher in some ways. I thought that was an interesting story. Anyway,
Interesting.
you don't buy that, do you? You don't buy that at all.
No, I don't buy that. But if John Smoltz is saying it, I do. If John Smoltz is saying it, I just never thought about it. So I guess I buy it because Smoltz said it.
Oh well. I guess whatever. Sorry, Smoltz. Called you out there. I could be told. Maybe Smoltz didn't say it. I just made it up. I think
you might, dude. Maybe John. Maybe Bill Smith, your neighbor, said that a couple years ago when you were growing up, and you thought it was Smoltz.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I digress. All right. What else we got going on? We got so many things going this week.
Dude, I want to tell you, something's coming to your house.
You told me this.
Hey, listen. It's arriving tomorrow.
Oh, it is arriving tomorrow.
You cannot open it until Friday.
Should I box it on the show?
Yes, I want you to unbox it on the show on Friday.
Am I going to be like really like I don't know. You told
me Jake the Snake Roberts sent you something.
I love Jake the Snake Roberts. I don't want any hints, but like I'm very curious about this.
Okay, well, I'm curious. I can't wait for you to open it.
I know that's what I'm like a little confused. I'm like a little scared about is like you've been talking about this for a couple of days now, and I don't know what you're saying. First of all, folks, every 2 weeks, Sean asks me for my address. I've given Sean my address literally, I would say 35 times in at least the last like year and a half, and then last week. We almost forgot to send the bat to the guy.
Oh yeah, to David Dumont.
Oh, I forgot. And I was like, I'm putting Sarah on anything that we need to do, and you got to do the same thing with. I end up
sending that out myself. I went to UPS and delivered it. Sarah was going to deliver it, but I ended up doing it myself.
Good for you. I mean, you got to give her a break every once in a while. She carries you.
Yeah, I put stuff on the table. I'm like, here, Sarah, there's 5 things need to go out.
Yeah. Just folks, by the way, before we go, I have to tell you this. I was so shocked that you didn't know who Tom Papa was this morning when I texted you about our boy O'Malley.
Why do I not know who Tom Papa is?
But so, dude, I saw him literally at the same place you and I saw Pete the week after because we got my mother-in-law is such a huge fan. And then I literally screen grabbed our conversation. I'm like, Sean doesn't know who Papa is. And you know what my mother-in-law said, which was very kind to you and kind of like a knock on us. She goes, well, you guys don't go out as much as most other people. People have a lot of business, Ben. So not everybody knows everybody who's on TV. And I was like, wah, wah. Thanks, Ma. But it does kind of make sense because he's not like at the Chris Rock level, but he's like right below it. So you got
Yeah, I gotta check him out. And he had our man Mike O'Malley on, who was a great buddy of ours and great guest on the mayor's office. If you haven't seen that episode, go check it out.
Yeah, go check that out. He tells a story about getting into a fight with Johnny Bench and Aaron, a couple of guys. It's a great story. Go look at that interview if you haven't. It's like year one.
O'Malley's the best.
Apologies for the audio in advance. Year one Chinch audio on the podcast wasn't that great. So those of you who are joining us,
I mean, I remember guys like Casey sounds like he's in a bathroom stall.
that was devastating. But we got it right overall. But dude, every time I look, sometimes we get the notes on, how many you get them on everything. You get a list of what shows were downloaded, how many downloads for each, whatever. And every once in a while, I'll see a show where I knew I did not edit it well. And I'm like, oh my God, 4 people, they're coming to us now thinking we're a good show. And they're going to listen to that crap. So I'm like, it's going to ruin my career. But listen to it, folks, and you can see the evolution of the mayor's office. It's gotten better.
So funny.
Right, man.
All right, brother.
You're working.
All right, don't open that present. And that's not a present. I guess it's a present. Yeah. All right. Don't open the present tomorrow. Open it Friday.
Now I'm freaking out. All right. I'll do that. All right. Mason,
and if you open it, I'll know because I'll talk to Jess and she'll tell me.
I will not do it. I can't. I'm going to tell her this right now, like that I'm going to allow her to open this.
All right. Tell her not to open it either.
I won't.
And tell her to hide it somewhere.
Okay. I hope it's cash.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Buddy, I'll talk to you later.
If it is, you better cash my check this time, pal.
See.
All right, man. See you tomorrow, brother. Everyone out there, thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
See you, brother.
See you.